Welcome to Stock Charts Trading. Today we're going to be looking at the birth of Trendlines, and this is Adobe. So I used to be a trend trader, and basically what that meant was I would draw a channel and I would buy off of support. So anytime it'd come down to support, I would buy. Anytime it would hit resistance, I would sell, or I would sell on resistance, and then I would close the trade out on support. And then you'd have trades like this where basically price comes up, you buy to go to the downside, and price keeps on moving upwards. And as soon as I'd have that breakout, I'd be trying to find my support and resistance for my next channel based on these old candlestick highs and lows, and I would have to adjust accordingly. See, like even on this one, where if I were to come across this bottom, I have a bottom here, I have a bottom here, but then I come up into price here, and where's my high? Is my high this candlestick for my high, for my resistance, and then it breaks out? All right, well, that wasn't my high, obviously. So now I've got to readjust and move it to the next high. And okay, well, that was the appropriate high, and now I have another high. Then price comes down and it breaks through this area here. And so then I'm sitting there thinking, all right, now I'm in a downtrend, and then price shoots back up and then falls back off. And so it was a lot of whipsawing for me to kind of stay consistent in my trades, because even if I got in this trade right here, which it broke through, it never came up to this old resistance. It made a lot of money right in between these two. It didn't bring into my resistance, and so I wouldn't sell, and then price just falls back off. And the thing about trend trading is I was always looking for the next channel and how that next channel lined up. And then as soon as the price would break out, I'd have to find what was the next placement. And so you can see if I use these lows and if I use a low right here, a low right here, it breaks through. And so, you know, if I entered this trade right here, it broke down. Now what? I'm like, how low is it going to go? And then here I might enter or exit the trade. I might exit back out of the trade, and then price jumps right back over and so I was always making wrong channels. I'd have to move this channel and then readjust, and then price hits here, and then it comes down. It doesn't hit the bottom of the channel and then breaks through. And so now I'm looking for a new channel. And I was always chasing the trade. But one day I had an extension on the channel, and I saw that price came down and used that as support. And to my surprise, it worked. So what I started to do is take all of my old channels, and once it broke out, and I started to use extensions, and I found that old resistance would become new resistance later down the road with that same exact angle. Even though I had a down channel, price came back into my previous channel and then gave me resistance signals. It gave me support signals. It gave me targets so that I could see where to get in, where to get out on a long-term basis. And that's when I started to use just trend lines by themselves instead of trying to find the exact angle on the top and the bottom of a channel. Now I could just use these support levels, because every high, every low creates support and resistance. And so now you see I'm using this resistance and this resistance and this resistance to prove to me that there's further resistance up here. I'm using this support level, which we know old support makes new resistance. And so I carry that line up, and you can see that there's resistance there. Now, again, we have resistance, we have resistance, we have resistance. We carry that trend line up, and it gives us this target. And that's basically how trend lines started. It was just by the extension of the channel and seeing that support is support forever. Resistance is resistance forever. And there's lots of lines that will be your support and resistance, but you have to draw them onto your page so that you can see that support and resistance. And the more lines you have will confirm there's more support, more resistance, which then should give you the confidence to enter into the trade.